Hello everyone, this is Dr. Darkness bringing you another Kingdom Hearts video. Kingdom Hearts has one of the greatest selection of voice actors in gaming, ranging from Disney voice actors to normal actors who've also taken a role in the game as a voice actor. In this sort of series of videos, I will go over some of the voice actors in the series and say who they are, other roles they've been in, and so on. The first part will be focused on the first game, and I'm going to say it will focus on the original characters rather than the Disney characters, as the Disney characters generally were voiced by the same people who voiced them in the films or sequels or whatever that they were in originally. So anyway, let's get started.
Kingdom Hearts! Fill me with the power of darkness! The door to darkness.
So what other place can we start than with the main character himself, and my favourite character, Sora. Sora, as many people know, is voiced by Haley Joel Osment in every single game in the series. He also gives his voice to Vanitas in Birth by Sleep. And he's also supposed to be a huge fan of the games generally. I think his sister once said in an interview that he'd spend all of his spare time playing Kingdom Hearts, which is obviously great because it means he's unlikely to stop voicing Sora if he does love the game so much. However, as many of you also probably know, Haley Joel Osment became famous for his role in The Sixth Sense. He was the I See Dead People child, and for that role he was actually nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. He was the second youngest actor to be nominated for that Oscar. Since then he's generally just been kind of one of those huge child actors who ends up sort of disappearing. He did give some voice acting to some Disney sequels. He was Mowgli in the Jungle Book 2. He was Chip in some Beauty and the Beast sequels. Generally, though, it's been his role in Kingdom Hearts that's kept his career alive. Hopefully it can continue to do so, both for Kingdom Hearts 3 and beyond.
See 'em all.
Hey! Aren't you guys forgetting about me?
Next we go to David Gallagher, who provides the voice for Riku, who is also in every game in the series. He also voices young Xehanort in Birth by Sleep. Like Haley Joel Osment, David Gallagher began acting as a child. He starred alongside John Travolta in the films Who's Talking Now and Phenomenon in the 1990s. Since the first Kingdom Hearts game, he appeared in Whisper of the Heart, which is a Studio Ghibli film, as well as being in Super 8, which was directed by Star Wars Episode 7's J.J. Abrams. Generally, though, he's just sort of had small roles in small films, with Kingdom Hearts being the exception. So then we complete our main characters with Kairi, who is voiced by Hayden Panettiere. She's the youngest of the three, and she became big through voice work on two Disney films, A Bug's Life, where she played Dot, and Dinosaur, where she played Suri. And she also had a role in Remember the Titans. More recently, she's appeared in Scream 4, and she will be in the video game Until Dawn, which releases this year for PS4. She also voiced Xion in Dream Drop Distance. Xion generally has shared voice actors with Kairi in the past, but I'll go into that more in a later part. Finally, we have the fourth and the last original character of the first game.
It is I, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness.
Voiced by Billy Zane. His first role was a small part in Back to the Future in 1985, which was before any of the main actors were even born. He starred in an independent film called Megaville before going on to play the Phantom and Caledon Hockley in Titanic, which at the time was the highest grossing film of all time. Zane also voiced a Disney sequel, playing John Rolfe in Pocahontas 2. He only voiced Ansem in the first game though, but I'd still say he's still the only one who's really captured the true nature of Ansem. Ansem's never really been the same since Billy Zane left. We can hope he can come back for Kingdom Hearts 3, but it would be just a wild hope, and it seems unlikely. So that's it for the original characters. So now we have the Final Fantasy characters. I know I only said original, but these were PS1 Final Fantasy characters, and they were only given voice actors for Kingdom Hearts. So the first we see in the game is Leon from Final Fantasy VIII, who is voiced by David Boreanaz in the first game. His biggest role was when he played Angel in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and in his own spin-off. He also starred in a slasher horror film called Valentine before Kingdom Hearts, and has since appeared regularly in TV series Bones, which admittedly I've never heard of before. Finally, he's also had some small roles in Family Guy and American Dad, but he has not appeared in Kingdom Hearts since the first game. Next we have the 3 Final Fantasy VII characters, beginning with Yuffie. She's voiced by Christy Carlson Romano, who is known for voicing Kim Possible in Kim Possible. She also voiced Yuffie in a few other things like the Final Fantasy film called Advent Children. She's also played Belle in a Broadway production of Beauty and the Beast, and she also has her own music career. Continuing Final Fantasy VII, we have Aerith, or Aeris as she was originally in that game. She's voiced by Mandy Moore, who's basically mainly a sort of singer-songwriter. She also did voice Rapunzel in Tangled, but generally she's more known for her singing. And then we finish this episode with Final Fantasy's most famous protagonist, the Final Fantasy VII protagonist, Cloud Strife. He's voiced by Steve Burton, who also voiced Cloud in Final Fantasy Advent Children. He's never really had any other big roles, but he continues to play Cloud in a number of Square games, like basically the Kingdom Hearts games and the Dissidia Final Fantasy games. And that's really what his career is at the moment. So that's it, a look at 8 of the voice actors from the first game. The plan is to continue this. Part 2 will be with Rechain of Memories, Part 3 with Kingdom Hearts 2, and so on. Anyway, please like this video if you did, comment your thoughts on the voice actors, subscribe to my channel for more Kingdom Hearts content, follow me on Twitter, as always my name is in the description, and thank you for watching.